guys, I wanted to talk about something a little bit different today, on how you should like spend your money, how you should just what to prioritize like spending money on. This is something that I like really think about quite a lot, especially previously. Like one thing to realize is just you can like even on the small little things like it does all add up very quickly. So like just going out like eating out all the time and doing all these things like it really does add up, and over the space of like a year, um if you're spending like 50 $60 per day like eating out of it, I've done that before for like the whole of last year. I didn't cook anything at home at all, and I ended up spending about $30,000 on food. So like these little things that do really add up. So this is just like my um experiences with like how to optimize like what you're spending on. Like really we should look to optimize every single part of our life, and that doesn't mean like not spending any money at all. It just means spending money like on the right things. So like two things I would say never to be tight on is like education, um like just buying books, and like even now by like watching this video, hopefully you're learning something. So there are like plenty of free sources for getting education. You don't necessarily need to spend money on it, but with things like books, perhaps like if you want to go and learn a new skill, like just teaching yourself programming. Again, there's hundreds of free resources online, but you can go and buy like a course for like $9. So I don't limit myself for like a budget on education. Like usually every month I try to spend like 10% of whatever I make on books, just because I like reading books. But if you prefer audiobooks, there's a really good app called Scribed, which I much prefer to like Kindle. It's $9 per month, and you get all of their content. You get unlimited books. So that's like another really good thing. So yeah, education. I don't like limit how much I spend on it. I don't think you can have too much education in terms of like school and stuff. I don't agree with that route of education personally, but in like for self education, like buying books, learning things, having experiences, 100%. Like don't be shy about investing money there if it's going to like better yourself and you're going to acquire a new skill or improve on an existing skill that you can monetize later. 100% it's a good idea. Um, Sorry, the other thing that I would always like try to like spend more money on for like for good quality is food. Like not buying like cheap processed like mass produced food. Like I'm not vegan myself, but like it's something that I've been like just using. I've been doing a lot more like smoothies and stuff recently, purely out of convenience. It's just much more like time efficient way to get all my like vegetables and everything. And because I'm doing that, like I have been eating a lot less meat. But yeah, not intentionally, just out of convenience. But like if you are eating meat, getting things like grass fed beef is really good. Just being very careful of what you're putting into your body. I'm not a medical specialist. Like, I'm not going to give everyone advice on what they should do, but like 100%, like we do become what we eat. You're literally That's how digestion's working. We're absorbing what is inside that food. So obviously, like you want to be putting high quality like nutrients like, and natural products into your body as much as possible. So yeah, don't be shy about like I think in the US they have some really good like sort of natural supermarkets, like we would call them. Like we have one called like Whole Foods in the UK. As much as I don't live there anymore, in Georgia where like I'm based at the moment, there's like Agora Hub, which is Agro Hub, sorry, which is all just like really natural foods. So like a lot of like nuts and stuff and fruit and vegetables is always good. But yeah, just get like the higher quality things. And then for like following on from that, in terms of what I like spend money on, um, generally, if I use something a lot, if I'm going to use something like every single day, I will go for like a higher tier thing, and I think it's far better to do that. You know, if we just like sort of look at the maths on, for example, like a MacBook Pro, which I'm using now, I spend like crazy amounts of time on my laptop every single day. Um, Maybe like more than 50% of my waking hours are spent on my laptop. As sad as that sounds. So if I buy like a cheap laptop and it's freezing, I'm constantly encountering like issues that are actually delaying me from doing my work. In like usually as an hourly rate, I would charge $250 per hour, but even on for like someone else charging $10, $5 per hour, like as a freelancer. If every day you waste like an hour waiting for like your computer to load, or like you have an issue, or even just like a few minutes like here and there, um, or if every day like you spent 1 minute, sorry, okay, if every day we spent an hour just waiting for things to load, that's over, it's about 14 days of your life that you would have wasted in a year, of waiting time for something. So, like when like really the most precious thing that we have is time. So, invest your money in what is going to. This is why I talked about like productivity as well. Invest your money in things that are going to give you like more time, um, like more essentially, yeah, more life. You're actually buying more time by investing in these things. Like also like a mattress, if you sleep on every night, it's not the type of thing that you want like a shit mattress. You want like a good quality mattress. Like sleep is like number one on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, like spend money on those types of things, not like, rather than like investing money in like a multivitamin, like to try and improve your life or things like that. Focus at the things that are like at the very top, like actual nutrition, sleep, and whatever it is that like you spend a lot of time on every day. You spend your most amount of time on, like invest in the tools to make that easier. Like for example, for me working online, like a laptop, I have the highest spec MacBook Pro you can get, and when you look at that on Apple and you see like a $4,000 laptop. It seems like a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but put into perspective of how long I will spend on this laptop, um, it's a worthwhile investment. Um, but yeah, and that does completely apply to like everything. Also, in terms of what else to spend money on, look at like investments. And when I say investments, not I don't mean like looking at like the stock market, but how how can you like in your day to day life, what are you spending money on, and how can you invest in something to optimize that? So let's say you spend like $3 per cup of coffee that you have out. Instead, you can buy like a Nespresso coffee machine for depending on what one you get, between like $50 to $80. And then once you're using just like the capsules, you're going to be spending less than like 30 cents per cup of coffee, um, which means in less than 15 days you're going to be making a profit from that investment, if you're not going out and spending $3 on a coffee every day, because you're making it yourself every morning, or if you put it in like your office or whatever your structure is. So just like little things like that, in the long run, they really do like optimize what you're. It seems like a big expense at the start, but really, if we actually calculate things, same as like in Bali, when like I was living out there and we had like a maid, and it was my friend who like taught me this like principle. I thought it seemed like a bit unnecessary, um, but it was actually a lot cheaper for the maid to go out shopping in the supermarket, for us to pay her salary, and for us to cook us like 3 meals per day, and literally have her like on call, than it was for us to either order like takeaways or go out and get things. So it was actually, it is a worthwhile investment. So you can just look for a number of like little things like that. Same as if like you're renting an apartment. I've just sort of come to this conclusion that currently I spend a lot of money on like co-working spaces, and when you have a team, like co-working isn't the best thing to do. If you're just like a freelancer, yeah, it's a good solution. But now I've just found like an apartment that I'm looking at buying, so it's going to be like $150,000, which is the most money I've ever spent on anything. And to me, it sounds like a huge amount of money. I could technically just have that in the bank and sit there feeling very wealthy instead of investing in an apartment. But in the long term, I need to realize it's an investment. It's something that I will make money off. I'll save money off it as well compared to my current expenses. Not only that, I can put it on Airbnb and probably get $2,000-$3,000 per month for it, and earn a return. So I know, I know it can be a bit difficult to get into this mindset of like paying a big upfront cost to start with. Like even going something as simple as like software as a service subscriptions. In fact, that's a very valid point. If there's something that you know you're going to be using for this whole year, and you're in a position where you can pay up front for it and save some money, like all of these things really do add up. So perhaps you can save like 20%, like some people even offer way more. I actually offer like 50% off our yearly subscriptions. And I'm sure that you could negotiate with a company if you know 100% that you'll be using their service for the next year, even at like your gym or something. You can potentially negotiate with them. But anyway, that's my like advice on like optimizing how you spend your money. So education, always be learning, invest in like nutrition and health. Like don't be tight on those things. And after that, it really comes down to what you spend your time doing day to day, finding tools that will make your life easier, that will save you time, and invest money in those things, like sleeping, like I said, and finding like your big expenses already and looking for ways to like optimize them. So I just gave some simple examples, but like if you have any like money hacks, I'd be interested to hear them. There's a number of like really interesting banks at the moment as well. Like we have some banks in Britain called like Monzo, which essentially it saves your spare change. So if I bought like a coffee for $2.79, it will put that it will round it up to $3, and it will put that 21 cents into like a savings account for me. So before I even know it, if I'm going around spending all day, like it's just going to keep saving this money for me, and it just adds up. It's a nice way of like saving money. So just doing like some things like that as well are just interesting. But anyway, if you have any like money hacks, I'd love to hear them. Other than that, I need to get a better camera because the lighting here isn't great, and obviously you can't see the fantastic view outside. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something, and have a great day.